We turn attention now to some research work being done by Babajide Ogunsanwo, who is Channel Service data analyst. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Great.
You've been digging in, looking at certain figures, appointments. What have you found lately?
Well, there's a lot to talk about. About a third of a century ago, an event of great significance happened. What was that event? It was on August 27, 1985, when the chief imam of Lagos State, during the Eid-el-Kabir festival, sat with the then president, Major General Buhari, and he discussed about the non-importance of the federal quota system. In essence, the chief imam then had sat with the president and spoke to him that the federal character was not important. The president sat quietly and listened to all of what the chief imam said. Here's why the president today cannot forget that event. Because it happened on August 27, 1985. This is the exact headline on the Punch newspaper on August 27, 1985, when the chief imam said, "To hell with quota." This was also the last day that Major General Buhari was president. So he cannot forget the essence of that discussion. Now, this doesn't mean that it was because of the discussion he was ousted as president, but it means he knows and he remembers the importance of the federal character. But what does the Constitution really say, and how does it define federal character? It says it's a distinct desire of the people to promote three things. What are the three things? One, national unity. The second thing, national loyalty. The third thing, national belonging. How many times was tribe mentioned? 0. How many times was religion mentioned? 0. So in essence, the federal character is about the welfare of the people. Today's discussion is we look at the federal character and we look at three major headings. We look at the positions that the president has elected for security and crime. We look at the positions under the electoral system and judiciary, and we look at the economy. And yes, if we look at those positions based on how they've been allocated, yes, we'll feel that there's been a skew towards the north. Especially if you look at security and crime, you see a lot of reasons why some people feel that these positions have been skewed towards the north. If we look at the electoral and judiciary system, we feel that some of these positions have been skewed towards the north. And even if we look at the economy, we also will find out that some of these positions have been skewed towards the north. But however, people ask, is the federal character only about positions? Yes, if we look at the last elections, there were only 12 states where the president had a winning margin in excess of 250,000. All the 7 states in the northwest, Niger states in the north central, and Borno, Yobe, Bauchi, and Gombe. So yes, when we look at the federal character of positions, yes, there's a favorable argument that says there's a skew towards the north. However, if you look at the federal character based on economic opportunities, you find that it is skewed towards the south. And here's what I mean. There are among the 10 states that have the lowest IGR in the country. 9 of them are in the north. So you have Kebbi, Jigawa, Zamfara from the northwest. In the north central, you have Nasarawa states. In the northeast, you have Borno, Adamawa, Yobe, Gombe, and Taraba. Among the 10 states with the lowest IGR, 9 of them are in the north. So those that talk about federal character, in terms of positions, that favors the north. The other argument is that in terms of economic opportunities, there seems to be a tilt towards the south.
I'm just looking through this now, but if the second part where you talk about the electoral and judiciary, well, yes, even if you say it's been skewed, but what about the other perspective wherein they say, look, this has nothing to do with whether or not it's been skewed, because they will argue that it's about those who are next in line. So if that were to come into place, will they then suffice, or will they hold water if people say no, it's still being skewed?
Yes, you're right, but the argument is, where were those persons next in line? Today we are faced with two challenges of great significance, and they are not Boko Haram or the herdsmen. The first is the federal character, because the federal character does not promote a strictly based merit system. And here's why a merit system is important at the moment. The IMF and its representative in Nigeria, Jean Leon, recently said that our current growth rate is the worst in 2 decades. They forecast that the economy will shrink this year. So running a system based on federal character strictly at this moment has little merit. However, the second challenge we face that's of great importance, which is an irony, is the challenge of merit. Because running a system as well, strictly based on merits, affects the unity of Nigeria. This is what merit means. Merit means taking from that sector that has in abundance and giving to that sector that has nothing. It means taking from the rich and taking from the poor. So based on merits, we have the Northwest region that has a poverty rate of above 70%. You have the Southwest that has below 60%. So based on merits, we should take more resources from the South and give to the North. Based on the federal character, we should spread resources evenly. So the discussion of the federal character, as we've seen right from over a third of a century ago, will not end today. It depends on what side of the coin you're arguing from. Are you arguing from the federal character perspective, or are you arguing from the merit perspective? If we look at the revenue, even though there's a lot of argument that says the federal character of positioning is skewed towards the north. If you look at the revenue, the federal allocation revenue for May, the gross total was 67.08 billion naira. Only 42% of that went to the north. So if you argue in terms of federal character of revenue, those in the north will complain. If you argue about the federal character in terms of location, those in the south will complain. So it all seems like a football game where we are currently on a 1-1 draw.
So wait, would it be fair to ask what is wrong with federal character in terms of, is it the principle or the application of it?
It all depends on how you want to argue it. Is federal character mentioned anywhere in the United States? No, it isn't. But the challenge is, the president has often said his appointments are based on those that merit it and those he trusts. But those that argue in favor of merit, say for instance, at the National Assembly, when this new government came in, based on INEC results, there were 60 senators in the APC. The challenge is 46 of them came from the north, 20 from the northwest, 13 north central, 13 northeast. Here's what it means: 75% of APC senators are from the north. And for the lower house, the APC had 212 House of Rep members. 159 were from the north. So it means that at both levels, both at the Senate and at the House of Reps, 75% of APC representatives are from the north. So within the party is gradually moving towards a northern regional party, if we were to look at it from the numbers.
And this is what you said as far back as 85 that he was warned against.
As far back as 85, it was warned against. And that's why you said, after that warning came from the headlines, and it made front page headlines in the Punch newspaper of August 27, 1985.
Okay, I think Mark Boy wants to put in a question. Mark Boy?
I was listening very intently to what Jide had to say, and it would seem that, looking at it, do you think that this will be enough to spark trouble for the APC in the forthcoming elections? Sometime it might seem far away, but 2019 for politicians is what they're already planning for.
If it didn't spark trouble for the APC when they won, it is unlikely it sparks trouble for the party. What it will likely spark trouble for is among the voters. Within the party, the northern region played a significant role in the victory. And those that argue that the appointments are being lopsided towards the north argue that because there were key states, again, there were only 12 states that the president had a winning margin of above 250,000, and all 12 states were in the north. Specifically in the northwest, all the 7 states, the president had a winning margin in excess of 250,000. But again, we cannot just look at federal character on the basis of positions. We have the federal character, which we have talked about from other subjects.
All right, Jide, I appreciate your coming on this morning. Well, that's the show today. We thank you all for watching, and what a day, what a week it's been, as a matter of fact. I'm Chamberlain Oso.
Many thanks. I'm Sulaiman Alede.
I do agree. It's been an interesting week. I sincerely hope that those who are concerned will be listening to this program. Thank you for watching. I'm Maokwe Ogun.